So obviously I said I was going to start talking about Ark Survival Ascended in the latest series I was doing of my final playthrough of Ark Survival Evolved. So that's how I'm going to start the first video and the playlist or series of Ark Survival Ascended videos on the channel. Now obviously I'm going to knock out all the other footage I got and I'm going to montage it and make some use of it, but now with Ark Survival Ascended potentially being right around the corner, I think it's time to jump into a video and kind of cover the points that everyone maybe doesn't want to speak about. The absolute state that the official servers have become. You've got ESP, you've got aimbot, you've got meshing, you've got DDoSing, you've got duping, you've got actual corruption from Snail Games themselves rolling around as the Overlord T, just banning people left, right and centre when their feelings get hurt or their skill set is diminished or they're potentially not the better man that day. So what do? They either get aimbotters or they get people banned themselves. Obviously people are going to say negativity, where's your proof? Well, the videos are out there, go check them out for yourself. But my point in this video is, can Ark Survival Ascended blow up? Or could it potentially fail? And rather than take emotions into consideration, I'm just going to look at it logically, take my time that I've had in the game out and kind of go through some valid points that I believe are reasons it could blow up or it could go to absolute shit. Now, one is meshing, and I personally experienced this firsthand and it really did ruin the game for me to a certain extent. It's one of the only times like I've genuinely, over the many years and hours I put in, was ready to quit the game and even took a week or so step back and genuinely thought, I'm done with Ark. Like, this is thousands of hours of hundreds of thousands of hours between multiple different people's efforts. I can't do this shit anymore, this is absolutely ridiculous. And it was when I got meshed on one of our main bases on Aberration years ago now. So there was an exploit which kind of basically put you into semi-god mode and we lost an entire base. We tried to defend for nearly 3 days and we done the best we could. We put multiple tickets in, and while the guys were literally, I tell you, literally under the fucking base, we had replies saying the problem had been resolved, blah de blah blah. I then replied and multiple other members replied with, the problem isn't solved, here's another clip, they're under our base right now fucking meshing us, to get another reply that the problem was solved and there was no issues. And then eventually I got a message saying that if I put another ticket in that I would basically be banned, and it actually led to me getting fucking banned because supposedly I was spamming tickets and then we went to the forums. So rather than help us against meshers that were like in global saying the most racist, toxic, like crazy shit while meshing our bases, even saying the devs wouldn't do out and that Wildcard was shit, which, you know, in all hindsight at the time, it seemed like they had valid points and they were quite factual in what they were saying. They did nothing. I did end up getting globally banned and then I went to Twitter and then I got unbanned because it supposedly was a temporary ban. I thought it was the biggest pile of shit I'd ever come across, and my disgust for Wildcard, or the dev support at that time, was at the highest, and that is genuinely when I was ready to pack the game in. I'd never seen anything like it in any other game, but it was quite fucked up, and I know I'm not the only one. I know Hod got banned when he even tried to expose the meshing. Obviously he's much bigger YouTuber, you know, probably one of the biggest out there, but that was also appalling and disgusting. The way they have dealt with these situations has single-handedly put so many players off this game that I know of that won't touch it. It's just not cool at all. Now, if they can change this and they can adjust it and they can actually do some dev support, reply to tickets, or say, or give a response that, you know, there's too many tickets at this time, we'll get back to you, or have some other way of implementing a better system, this game could blow up, because single-handedly these exploits that do not get addressed do kill the servers. It stopped me playing the official servers on PC for the past year. I actually went to an unofficial server. I really wasn't a fan of them. This isn't good. You want people playing on your official network. So that's my 2 cents. Wildcard need to get their head out the arse and they need to focus on actual dev support, replying to tickets, put some investment of money in it or time into it, and do something, implement something better. Come on and absolutely ban everyone. Smash us with bans. Go hard at us. People will listen, people will stop exploiting. But if you do nothing, you will kill your own game by doing this. And that's my honest opinion, because I genuinely do not believe people will suffer 6 to 10 years, 8, 10 years, whatever, on Ark Survival Ascended with the same shit we dealt with on Ark Survival Evolved. And that is my first point. Dev support and meshing it needs sorted. Now, if you're skilled and you want to go competitive, Ark is the game for you. Like, if you really want that competitive edge, and like myself, you like being against guys that are the same level as you, potentially better than you like the challenge, it's no good when someone implements aimbot into their fucking skill set, because you're pretty much fucked if you're not willing to do the same. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what aimbot is, aimbot's basically a third-party software that gives the player perfect aim that always hits what they want to shoot at, even if they're not directly targeted or their crosshair isn't on that person. It's still going to swing towards them. It can even increase the speed of fire, so Fabio that's 1, 2, 3 could potentially be 1, 2, 3, 4, and it could just hammer you with bullet shots. It leads to an unfair advantage in PvP, meaning people often will quit the game because they can't be bothered defending their base against aimbotters, especially newer or more casual people. But I've even seen some veterans really give up, and it's really burnt a lot of tribes out, because it basically means that you either quit because there's nothing you can do. I mean, we fought against it, but we're the rare special odds that actually, you know life this game and didn't quit, but most folk won't, and I understand why they would quit. There needs to be IP bans implemented. Yes, they can just make it all account. Yes, it's very hard to track this and do certain things, but just ban them when there's categoric evidence showing that they've done it. You hit them with the fucking hardest ban you can. It's going to waste people's time. It's going to make them have to buy the game again. So I personally think harder bans is how we stop this, and how we stop aimbot, how we stop meshing. Once again, it comes down to dev support and implementing your rules on your servers, or no one gives a fuck. In real life, if you could walk into a shop, take whatever you wanted, you could fight or do whatever the fuck you want, regardless of what people say, they would do it. Laws, workplace rules and guidelines keep people in check, and unfortunately this is the way it has to be, because people have no self-restraint and they are a bit chaotic. So enforce your rules and keep us on a right path, and that way you're gonna bring more people to the game because they know it's legit. Now, small tribes, let's take that for example. Teaming has really fucked small tribes, but it's a bit of a tricky situation, and kind of it's one of them that if you don't join them, you're gonna lose. So it's like you can't beat them, join them, and that's kind of where it comes at. Now on small tribes, it's meant to be 6-man tribes, and you are fighting other 6-man tribes, but often what happens is on smalls, you're a 6-man tribe and about 4 or 5 other 6-man tribes pull up and directly raid your base. Now you can't defend that as 6 people, you can't have alliances, so you kind of are fucked. Now I think if someone's PVE trading, or they're in an alliance and whatnot, and they're not both directly attacking your base, you could kind of get by. But when both of them attack your base, or 3 or 4 tribes are attacking and you have video evidence, no matter how big these tribes are, no matter how many hours they've put in, ban them. Literally just fucking ban them, and I promise you teaming will stop. And you might think, oh, we're going to lose one of our alliances or play base. No, you're not. You're going to bring more people to the network, because in hindsight, not many people actually do want to team monumentally. It's just kind of one of them things where if you don't team, you're fucked. So then everyone ends up teaming because there's no punishment. You're not held accountable for it. One, if you ban teamers and all these problems I'm talking about, you ban these people, you're going to make people rebuy the game. You're basically making money. So if you want to look financially, because we know that's all Snail cares about, if you want to look at it financially, Snail or Wildcard would make a shitload of money, because every time they IP ban someone, they have to make a new Steam account and buy the game. We get bans, it's implemented, it works for the player base, it's good, it's a win-win. You get a shitload of money, and you also look like you're running your game properly. Look at it from a financial perspective, you can earn more money by just basically enforcing your fucking rules. Now, this one is probably the worst. Like, hands down the worst. I don't really have a solution to this, and this is obviously, if you've been living under a rock, you wouldn't know, but most folk know that Snail Games actively plays their own games on their own servers, use admin cheats in many ways. I believe they've spawned loads of different things. There's a lot of evidence showing they've spawned things indirectly. They are banning players who attack them, literally just because they're not good enough. They're not efficient enough, or their feelings get hurt, so because they want to be the dominant force, they just ban everyone. You cannot do that. You cannot play your own game and ban people. And now I understand Snail has a lot of power over Wildcard, they own them, they're the publisher, but at the same time, surely there's something they can say, something they can address. Surely there's some legal loophole where Snail Games is damaging Wildcard's reputation irreversibly, and some legal loophole where Wildcard could maybe step up a little bit and say, do you know what, enough stuff, or someone could address it and say, we don't agree with this, but there's nothing we can do, our hands are tied. But Wildcard being silent, not addressing it, and then after it happened, I remember they were advertising Snail Games conquest servers. How fucked up is that? Everyone gets banned, and rather than just stay silent, which is bad enough, you then advertise their servers and not address all these people that put years into your game, that made content for your game, that made your game grow. It wasn't you that directly just made your game grow, it was the fucking community. So when I see comments of Wildcard owes you nothing, Wildcard doesn't owe the players anything, they've give you the game. No, they do owe us, because we put so much effort in. In my eyes, it's teamwork. Without the content creators, without the player base, you don't have a game, you have nothing, you have shit all. So to me, I think they need to step up more, they need to say more, they need to do more live streams, and they need to put more effort in. And I understand them ranting, put 30k hours into a game, and I've got another 8 to 10 years that I might invest in this. I just want the best for this game, and I want the best for the community. And if Wildcard don't start stepping up a little bit more, we're not going to get that. If we just protect them and say it's all good, we've got your back, we hate Snail Games, Wildcard's perfect. No, Wildcard is definitely at the lower end and definitely is getting fucked by Snail, and Wildcard is an amazing company, but they still have to be held accountable, or these actions will never change, and these things that'll happen will never change, and it'll be the same shit show over and over again. Now, I'm never going to get personal with people, I'm not going to target certain people. I understand the gaming world, the devs, Wildcard, it's just a bigger spectrum. People have bosses and they have bosses, and some people are on NDA potentially, they can't even say anything without potentially getting in shit and work, and I get that. This isn't aimed at Dolly, it's not aimed at Jack or Said or any of the others. From what I've seen them do over the years, they do a good job. Said personally, I think he could start speaking a bit more, getting more involved with the community. He is the community manager and he's a bit quiet at the minute, but I do think when he first came around, he done a brilliant job, like a really fucking good job, and that's the Said I want to see come back. That's the person who should be in command of all this stuff, with Dolly and Jap potentially in the background helping and doing Discord messages. This week, or the past couple of weeks alone, Dolly and Jap's messages and giving information, I personally believed has stopped a lot of people being even worse. So it was nice just to see them communicating, but what would be even nicer is if we could get some live streams, if we get some more footage, just anything on a more regular occurrence. Even if it's every 6 weeks, you do a little live stream, you go over some patch notes and crunches, and you take a Q&A. That would be the best thing for your game. Really connect with your community and address the exploits. Talk about them. Don't just bury your head in the sand and ignore them. If you do that, you will turn the table and the tide of Ark Survival Ascended, and you don't have to repeat the same bullshit we experienced yet again in Ark Survival Evolved. Now, I understand this has been a fairly fucking negative video, or it could come across that way, but I'm passionate about the game and I'm not the only one, and I do believe Wildcard can blow up. I believe Ark Survival Ascended, the Netflix series, potentially if they're going to movies or God knows what else, Ark 2, you know, even if it's co-op with story mode, this IP can blow up. But they need to start at the points I've spoke about. That is the most important. Will Ark Survival Ascended be amazing? Personally, I think it's gonna be fucking great. I'm a bit annoyed a little bit about the lack of information, but you know, it is what it is. Either way, I hope to take some of this information on board if they ever do see it. It would be nice for them to get even more heavily involved in the community. And honestly, I personally believe Wildcard has been against so many challenges, the debt at the beginning, the competition, you know, all of the shit show, the spaghetti code, there's so many issues they've had, and they've managed to come out on top. They've managed to do stuff that no other company can do, but can they do it again with Ark Survival Ascended? If they fix even half of what I've said, or they show they're progressing on it, this game could be monumentally massive and blow up more than Ark Survival Evolved ever did. My message in this video isn't to spew hate or anger or fire any negativity towards anyone, because they're just doing a job, they're just a person behind the screen, just trying to get by like the rest of us, and they have thousands, hundreds of thousands of angry nerdlingers like me and many others aiming shit at them. But no, we don't hate for pointless reasons, or maybe some do. And also them death threats in Discord the other night, None of us are a part of that. The real community, the real people that have opinions aren't that fucking stupid. I just hope they do make some progression on these things, and if they do, we really have a fruitful long life in Ark Survival Ascended. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. There's a lot more content to come, some funny comedy ones, some really factual guides, and also some more serious videos like this, no doubt. I hope there doesn't need to be, but I'm sure there will down the line. Don't forget to comment, let me know your opinions. What do you think about the game? Do you think I'm wrong in any aspect? Or what has your experiences been, and how do you think Ark Survival Ascended will play out? Let me know in the comment section below. Drop a like on the video, give it a share if you could, as it helps the algorithm and it helps the channel out a lot and myself, and I do appreciate you watching as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.